Okay, so does anybody feel like politics have gotten a lot more disrespectful, like way more than they used to be? I just feel like I remember a time in when politics, like Democrats and Republicans, had more grace about them and they were more cordial and they spoke on more even terms and politics didn't feel like it was a whole show.
Well, thank you very much, Jim, for this opportunity. I want to thank Governor Romney and the University of Denver for your hospitality. There are a lot of points I want to make tonight, but the most important one is that 20 years ago I became the luckiest man on earth because Michelle Obama agreed to marry me. And so I just want to wish, sweetie, you happy anniversary and let you know that a year from now we will not be celebrating it in front of 40 million people.
Governor Romney, 2 minutes.
Thank you, Jim. It's an honor to be here with you, and I appreciate the chance to be with the President. I'm pleased to be at the University of Denver, appreciate their welcome, and also the Presidential Commission on these debates. And congratulations to you, Mr. President, on your anniversary. I'm sure this was the most romantic place you could imagine, here with me. So congratulations.
What do you say to voters who feel they are worse off under your presidency than they were under President Trump?
We got to take a look at what I was left when I became president and what Mr. Trump left me. We had an economy that was in free fall. The economy collapsed. There were no jobs. Unemployment rate rose to 15%. It was terrible.
The only jobs he created are for illegal immigrants and bounce back jobs, a bounce back from the COVID. He has not done a good job. He's done a poor job, and inflation's killing our country. It is absolutely killing us. Our veterans are on the street. They're dying because he doesn't care about our veterans. He doesn't care. He doesn't like the military at all, and he doesn't care about our veterans. Nobody been worse. I had the highest approval rating for veterans taking care of the VA. He has the worst. He's gotten rid of all the things that I approved.
I went to the World War II cemetery, World War I cemetery he refused to go to. He was standing with his four-star general, and he told me, he said, I don't want to go in there because they're a bunch of losers and suckers.
Wait a minute. Wait. I know what happened. If you're anything like me, then you've had these questions lingering in your mind for a while, and I'm here to possibly give you a solution that may answer that question. Hey, how's it going? I'm Cam Hayden, and today we're going to be talking about the Overton window, a political construct that explains the change in ideals that happen across public life. Whether you're new here or not, I appreciate you being here. And as always, hit that like, comment, and subscribe button. Let me know what you think in the comments because I want to go over this topic with you, but then I want to explain something that might be a little bit interesting for leftists. So first, we have to go ahead and categorically explain what is the Overton window. The Overton window is the range of subjects and arguments politically acceptable to the mainstream population at any given time. It is also known as the window of discourse. The term is named after the American policy analyst, Joseph Overton, who proposed that the political viability of an idea depends mainly on whether it falls within acceptability range, rather than on the individual preferences of politicians using the term or concept. According to Overton, the window frames the range of policies that politicians may recommend without appearing too extreme to gain or keep public office given the climate of public opinion at the particular time. One of the best examples of this that I can give currently is our current sitting president, Trump. Trump has a very, very unique habit of making very extreme things sound normal.
Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
After the first Trump presidency, it can be noted that being a conservative started to fall into a more normal seating. Many left-leaning news sources started to add conservatives to their pulpit because at the end of the day, as long as you weren't Trump, you weren't that bad. The most interesting part of the Trump presidency is that it made it so that the left had become more right. Throughout the campaign of both Biden and Harris, you can see many leftists speaking out on the issue that is the Democratic Party had become too conservative, coming out and speaking forth about how the Democratic Party had leaned a little too far right and had become much more conservative. I'd make jokes and speculations that the Democratic Party was becoming a lot more conservative. I made the nudge that Tim Walz was more of a conservative than he was a Democrat. Outside of Tim Walz, I'd also made the notion that Kamala was too moderate. And by moderate, I mean we were very unsure of her talking points and what it was that she was going to do for the American people. But one thing we did know is that she wasn't Trump and she wasn't Biden.
I'm obviously not Joe Biden.
I noticed.
And so that would be one change in terms of, but also I think it's important to say with, 28 days to go, I'm not Donald Trump. And
Clearly, I am not Joe Biden, and I am certainly not Donald Trump. And what I do offer is a new generation of leadership for our country, one who believes in what is possible, one who brings a sense of optimism about what we can do instead of always disparaging.
The reason I'm bringing up the Overton window is solely based on the idea that I think the way that the Overton window has been explained to me through the amount of research that I have done, it makes me believe that what should be going on with the populace and the general public is that we should all be leaning more conservatively, right? But it feels like the public opinion isn't conservative or democratic. It feels like the public opinion is about the people. This leads me to my secondary thought, Bernie's effect on politics. So while we see the news shift in public opinion for more conservative democratic balance, aiming for a more moderate place in the whole landscape, we can also see that after Bernie ran, more and more conservatives stated that they personally would have voted for Bernie. Bernie, running on what is largely a socialist platform, had the American people at first with a lot of questions, and in particular, the Democratic Party believing that he wouldn't in no way be able to win a race. All of the reports are coming out now that it's clear Bernie would have won, and he would have won in a landslide. The thing with the Overton window is that you are presenting extremes to people in order to balance out and get them to meet you in the middle, which is why I believe that the public opinion of socialism is more favorable now. If you look out for polls, you can see that socialism is more favored than it has been in a very, very long time. And I think part of the reason is because there are so many people online screaming about communism. They are now the outside of the Overton window. So when you bring it back and you draw a line in the middle, you are met with a very interesting sort of complication, because now the middle line is you aren't really wanting to choose Democrats and you aren't really wanting to choose Republicans. You're wanting to choose something that simply just helps the people. And when you start to get presented with one independent actor who is proposing things that will just simply help the people, as Bernie is, you start to see a mass amount of public appeal looking to Bernie and saying, whatever it is that he is doing, it's obvious to us that both the Dems and the Republicans don't want him involved. I'm going to be honest, people like an outsider, people like an underdog. And even in instances of Jubilee's latest video where it's moderate Democrats versus leftist, which I don't know if I feel like the people that were involved were leftist, because in the middle of it, you start to see that they do the Democrat thing where they kind of lean into the guise of liberalism. And this isn't to dissuade you from being a liberal, even though I do think being a liberal may be a little disingenuous. But as you watch, they start to agree with each other, and then even they say that they would have voted for Bernie. But then they acknowledge that now at this point Bernie may be too old, and maybe perhaps we need an outsider, somebody who is not a part of the system, somebody who understands the people and will do something for them. I say all of this to say I make this whole video to tell you that the one, more people should know about the Overton window. It's a really important concept that helps you understand a lot more about politics. But that too, there may be hope for the future of this country because the biggest combating system against fascism is, well, it's opposite. It's communism, but we won't do that. We'll say that it will be socialism. So as the American people start to find out just how disingenuous, one, the system that we live under is, but also two, how disingenuous whatever you want to deem Trumpism as is, they will start to find themselves looking for more community. And in looking for more community, more and more people will start to realize that the political system that they need more is the one that focuses on them. As always, I'm Cam, and I'll see you guys next week.